said, you stand with conviction, then you don't need to convince anyone. I always say this, there are three elements. One is three I's: idea, individual, and institution. So Gurudev had the idea.
Why a particular student should choose Shishu University?
The environment that we offer, to have a campus which is drug, alcohol, smoke-free, respect for life, vegetarian campus, crime-free campus.
Good morning everyone. I am Bharat Dash, Assistant Professor at Faculty of Management Studies at Shishu University. Shishu University has completed 12 years of its journey. In this short and very happening journey so far, there have been many people who have been a part of it. Today with us we have one such important personality who has not just been a part of the journey but actually leading it from the front. So we have today our very own President Ma'am, Professor Mrs. Rajita Kulkarni, who is here with us to share her story in this beautiful journey of Shishu University. Ma'am, welcome.
Good morning, Bharat. Very nice to be here.
Happy to have you. So ma'am, let us start with this question which I guess is in the mind of many people and personally with me also. You started your career and it has been a long and happening career in a very reputed multinational corporate bank. And after such a big time in that bank, when the shift was made from that corporate office to this small, new, young, yet dynamic educational institute called Shishu University, how has the shift been and what are the challenges during this transition?
Yeah, the short answer to this question is the shift happened because of Puja Gurudev, and it was his advice and blessings that I made the transition from my banking career to this line. When I left my job in 2010, all of us in our professional careers reach a certain stage of life. I was at a good stage of life. So everyone was very surprised that I was making this move. But it also coincided with a very life-transforming experience I had. In 2008, me and my husband were in the Taj Mahal Hotel in Mumbai when the hotel was attacked by terrorists. And after coming out safe from there, after about 14-15 hours inside, that kind of gives you a context to life, right? It gives you a new context to life. It gives you a new value for time. It gives you a new value for what is important. And I think I was also going through some of those, that churn in my mind. And I thought it was a good moment in my life and at my age at that time to make this transition. I was lucky to get Gurudev's blessings, and I was fortunate to get the support from my family, my husband, my family members, and I made this change. The change was quite dramatic because, in city I had quite a large portfolio, almost 16,000 employees to whom me and my team would service in the various roles that we played. And it was quite structured. You know how it is. It was quite structured. It's a large bank, multinational, so everything was set, processes. And then I made a transition to here, which was a startup. So it had all the challenges of a startup. Every small thing, every minute micro thing you had to build yourself. So it was a big scale change. It was a big industry change. I had to teach myself everything about education. I remember in the earlier days, whichever meeting I was a part of or whichever conference I had a chance to attend, I would carry my small book and I would always write down every acronym I heard, because in education, we have thousands of acronyms. And every acronym I would write down, then I would research it, go deep into it, look at all the connected information to it. So I really, I think one thing I can feel proud about is that I really taught myself the nuts and bolts of education, the regulatory aspects, and that also there are so many. We are a highly regulated field, and understanding all the dynamics, state, center, international. So I think it was a huge change for me. It was a change of scale, change of industry, change of my own, needing to start my own rebuilding of the knowledge base that I had, and also moving from a structured multinational to a NGO setup. I remember I used to, in a light moment, say to Gurudev that it is easy to manage 16,000 employees, but to manage even 160 volunteers is such a tough, challenge, because volunteers are driven by mission. It's not just a profession; it's a mission that they feel a sense of. And that brings a different level of vitality, different level of energy, different level of a sense of ownership, and a different level of a sense of authority also. So everybody is his or her boss. So yeah, it was an amazing change. It was, I won't say it was easy all the time. There are still those moments, but it was a fun, looking back, I couldn't have imagined anything more exciting that I could have experienced in life.
Very well put, ma'am. Right from the broader level differences with respect to the sectors, the two sectors, and also the nuances with respect to the people involved, their approaches and mindset. Do you miss that corporate life?
No, not really. Actually, it used to be a busy time for me. So I used to think when I left my job that I'll have some free time and, I'll be a woman of leisure. But far from, now I think I'm 5 times busier. So no, and with Gurudev I have experienced one thing. It is always from one success to another. So when you look back with a sense of gratitude for what you learned, what you experienced. I'm very grateful for my banking career. I think my entire process orientation to the work that I do, my knowledge of risk and control, my knowledge of economics, my knowledge of finance, my knowledge of balance sheet management. When I left Citi, my responsibility was about $750 million of balance sheet, which in today's term could easily be $3-4 billion. So to manage a balance sheet, to make it profitable, all of that I learned there. Customer orientation, customer sensitivity, working in an environment where innovation and excellence is a way of life. So I look back with great amount of gratitude to that, and then moving ahead from there. So nothing else, no other feelings.
Well said, ma'am. I can see that how the very tightly regulated framework of the financial sector had prepared you for, again, a very tightly regulated framework of education. So yes, that transition had some points to carry forward. Ma'am, coming to my next question, considering that Shishu University is one of the main factors or one of the key factors of Shishu University, one of the USPs of Shishu University is the location of the university, and especially in the state of Odisha. So the next question is, how has the feeling of coming to Odisha changed over the years, right from the first day when you landed here, and now I'm sure that you had many journeys or many stopovers in this state. So how has that emotion, the feeling of landing on the state of Odisha, coming for the first time as compared to coming again and again, has changed over the period of time?
So when I came first to Odisha, it was because of the university only. I had not had a chance to visit the state before in a personal capacity before I came here with Gurudev, and I was still working in Citi when I came here. In fact, I have written about this incident in my book, The Unknown Edge. I was in Korea on a work trip, and in those days, Bharat, in Korea, we used to use the CDMA phones. So our normal phones would not work there. So they had CDMA phones. So what we had to do was we had to leave our normal phone at the airport with a small deposit, and then they would give you a CDMA phone. And when you came back, you pick that up and return the phone. So I would normally go for these visits for like a Monday to Friday. So I would not really bother to give that CDMA number to many people, 3-4 days. So like my husband would have it, my parents, my office secretary would have it, a couple of people would have it. So I was on such a visit to Korea, and it was a Thursday, and I got a call from Gurudev's office from one of his secretaries that Gurudev would like to invite you to join his visit to Odisha on Sunday, and we are on a Thursday. And so I said, oh, I'm in Seoul right now. And the next day I was traveling. So Seoul, Singapore, Bombay. I would reach only Friday midnight, after midnight. And this travel would have needed me to travel on a Saturday morning. So I said that, I will reach only by 1, 2 in the night. And it might be slightly difficult to fly again on Saturday morning. So can I be excused this time? So the secretary, they heard me out, and then they called me back and they said, okay, can you come next weekend? So I said, yeah, next weekend I can come. I didn't have any travel that week. I didn't think much of it, and I disconnected. Then I thought that this number, nobody else had. 3, 4 people had. So somebody has taken the effort to find the number, call me. Anyway, we came here next weekend. And Gurudev, few of us were there. We came to this, our land, which is now our Shishu University campus. It was a barren land. It was absolutely barren. I was wearing a nice silk sari that day, and while we walked, there were thorns and very, 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 very dry shrubs. They were all entering our, even Gurudev was wearing his normal white robes, and they were poking him. I was also getting like these thorn marks, and thorns were going in, and there were big these quarries, and I was thinking, I was not sure where we have come. So I said, why have we come to this barren land? And it was very hot, as it is in our side. It was very hot. We were sweating, and I didn't think much of the terrain, so I had some heel shoes. So it was all a bit of a situation. And then Gurudev said, see Rajita, this is the place we will have our university, and it will be a beautiful green campus. We will have flowers, and there will be birds who will come here, and students from around the world. And I just looked around and I said, in this place, so I was in a bit of a shock. And but I know one thing, Bharat, is that when Gurudev has a vision, I have had these experiences that he has already seen it fructifying. So I have learned that I should not put my little mind into it and say, but how will this happen and how will that happen? So I was just quiet. I sweated it out. I literally, and I sometimes say that I have really shed blood for this campus, which in the initial years, so many of us did, in these little moving around the campus. And then there were a few other people along with us that time, and Gurudev was with great enthusiasm, discussing how this campus would be. And to be honest, it was a complete sense of disbelief at a physical level. Like at a more deeper level, I knew that if Gurudev is saying, means it will happen.
The faith was.
But physically, I couldn't imagine this ever, happening. It just looked physically impossible. Like we had these huge quarries with these 200 feet deep pits. So I remember at that time we enlisted a number of architecture firms to give us designs, right? How should we build the campus? And everybody came with one day in the Bangalore ashram, they were all invited, and they were like one after the other, these spectacular plans. But every plan meant that we had to fill the quarry and then build on top of it. And then after sitting through these presentations for about 2-3 hours, Gurudev said, no, I will not fill the quarries. We build the building inside the quarries. And not one of those award-winning architects around the table had thought of that idea. And that is how you see our campuses today. It's a architectural marvel because all of our buildings are inside the quarries. So if you ask me that day, and by the way, because we came the next weekend, I was told later that Gurudev changed the plan because that earlier weekend, I had to regret. But that is what an enlightened master is.
Absolutely.
For one guru, for one devotee, the guru can go to any lengths. You know, it is said in the Dashavatara story of Narasimha that Prahlada, you know, his father Hiranyakashipu asks him, so is there God is your Vishnu in this pillar? And Prahlada tells him that you have the doubt, I don't have the doubt, so you check it. I know he's my master is there. You are the one who are doubting, you check. And that's when he kicked the pillar and Narasimha Avatar emerged. So that is what our divine is, no? That even for one devotee, for one bhakta, for one person, to what extent a master can go. So your question was how the feeling was then. The feeling that time was this little bit of disbelief and little bit of I think lack of understanding of the possibilities. And today it is today truly, Bharat, my feeling is always a feeling of marvel. That oh my God, we have done this also, and this is also happening, and we have achieved this also. You know, I meet so many people at so many international forums. So many people visit us because of Gurudev's international stature and presence. And everybody says what you all have achieved in 10 years is what a normal institution might have taken 40, 50 years to achieve. So that you can only marvel at, right?
Feel proud about it.
Yes, feel proud, of course feel happy. But marvel. Yeah. Gurudev says, no, when the question in your mind becomes a wonder, then it opens a field of infinite possibilities.
Right.
If you only let it be a question, then it's only your logical mind that keeps sort of, engaged in it. But when you move in the space of wonder and marvel, then it's infinite. So that's how it is.
I visualize everything in front of my mind, like the pain you may have gone through while doing all this initial tasks.
I always say this, there are three elements. One is three I's: idea, individual, and institution. So Gurudev had the idea, right? And then there were individuals who have been involved through the journey. So many hundreds of people have lent their hard work, their commitment, their ideas, their vision, their partnership to build this institution. And to make an idea into an institution, you need, therefore individuals are necessary. And I think with Gurudev, one more I comes in. Two more eyes. One eye is that of integrity. What I'm very proud of is that we built this institution with the highest levels of integrity. Anywhere in the world, it's not easy to build, a whole university, greenfield. And to build it with integrity, there are so many temptations. There are so many. There have been so many moments that we have been felt pressurized to take, say the shortcut. See, when you're doing such a big project, hundreds of minds are there. Somebody says, you do this, do that. There are so many outside pressures, external pressures, so many vested interests. It is a whole animal by itself. So, but we didn't succumb to any of that. We've had some tough moments also, but we stayed true to our integrity because of this fifth eye, which is the eye of inspiration. I think, all of us have been united with that feeling of wanting to contribute to Gurudev's vision of building a world-class institution. And I think, this I think could explain.
Very well put. From ideas to individual to institutions with integrity and inspiration. Very well put, ma'am. Now I will have to move to the next question. And though I was enjoying the story, the entire visualization of how the changes have been, how the transition have been, how every year some incremental changes and some exponential changes have occurred in the university. But then, the next question is such that we will have to move the story, the plot to there. It's related to what I have experienced over the period of time also. So when I first landed here, when I came to Odisha, or I told my friends that I will be shifting base to this location, they all started asking me the question like, Bhubaneswar hai kidhar? Where is Bhubaneswar? Where is Cuttack? Is it a part of Odisha, or is Odisha a part of Bhubaneswar? So they were absolutely oblivious or very less information with respect to even the geographical location of the state. But suddenly, what we see in the last 3-4 years or maybe few more years is that Odisha is showing up in many maps, in the political map, in the economical map, even the map related to sports and everything. So there is a good traction building with respect to the state. So the question is related to this. Personally, where do you see Odisha as a state of potential and possibilities?
I think you said it very beautifully that today we are a state with high reckoning in the national, not just national but international order. You know, when our Hockey World Cup was happening last year, you couldn't get a ticket to come to Bhubaneswar, a flight ticket. 2 times I came via Hyderabad from Bombay because there are no flight tickets to Bhubaneswar. So also one of the recent data I saw is that Odisha is now the 3rd state of India to attract the maximum investments for industry and growth, including infrastructure. So I think it was what it was, because also being a disaster-prone state, you know, if you remember in the 90s, 80s, what terrible natural calamities this state has gone through, and I think it is the infinite blessing and grace of Lord Jagannath. You know, I always feel that how lucky this place, Bhubaneswar itself is. Ki we are close to Jagannath, Jag ke Nath, and Bhubaneswar, Bhuvan ke Ishwar, dono hai idhar. So it is a blessed bhumi, and I think it is because of that it has always bounced back. I think the resilience it takes to be battered time and again by one cyclone or the other, and then to bounce back to rebuild yourself. I think that this state has done that, and it has. Today you see we have the best disaster management systems. We get written about as case studies. So the latest typhoons which happened, okay, we had physical damage to property, but there was minimum loss of life. So I think, and as you rightly said, whether it's sports, whether it's healthcare, education, industry, I think in all these, today all major software companies are here. All big 4 consulting is here. I saw a report about 2 weeks ago which gave a full sort of a protocol of how many new hotel chains are coming here. So I think the potential here is amazing. Look at our coastline, the beauty of the beaches here. Actually, when I went to Puri beach, I said, oh my God, I haven't. So I belong, my home state is Maharashtra, and we are very proud of our beaches there, right? Konkan beaches. These are as good, or even some are better. So I think the potential is huge. And the state is doing the right things, building the right infrastructure. The kind of sports infrastructure we have, I think, is, you know, unmatched or better, as good as anywhere in the world. So I think it's the right thing. And I think many people ask me this also, that why Gurudev chose Odisha to set up Shishu University. People have asked him also this question. And I think that is also a lesson in, a big lesson for us. See, for Art of Living, when we chose Odisha for the university, Odisha was not one of our biggest states in terms of Art of Living footprint. Like say a Maharashtra or a Karnataka, where our main Art of Living international center is, or Gujarat or Kerala. But that time also, Gurudev took the decision based on the need of the area. So the East needed more educational institutions. You know, some of the Western states are already quite advanced in terms of number of universities or higher education institutions. And he said, no, we can do something here because this place could benefit from it. And that's why we chose this, though it was not one of our sort of strongest footholds in that sense, comparatively. And now this has become one of the strongest ones. So and I think you again coming back to Odisha, I think therefore whether it's handloom, I think it's unmatched. Food, tourism, mining, which is our core, and now the state has in a sense diversified its it's niche, whether it's sports or industry. So I think, I think we are on a great footing, and I think the local government has, the previous and the current one is, I think, focusing on ensuring that the local students from the state get more and more opportunities to stay back in the state. So I think that opportunities are getting created, and the startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
So Bharat, this is, now I'm quite closely involved in the startup ecosystem in the country. And I can say that though in terms of size, we may be third in the country. In terms of vibrancy, in terms of policy, in terms of women founder oriented, policy orientation. So helping women founders get better access to capital. Odisha is doing very well, very, very well, much better than some of the other states. So I think it's the sunrise state of the country.
So no longer the best kept secret of India. I also remember that this time when the election results came out and the Prime Minister was addressing the nation immediately after the result, he came to the stage and the first phrase that he said, or the first slogan he gave, was Jai Hind, and the second one was Jai Jagannath. So again, a reference to this state, the beautiful state of Odisha.
Yes, and day before on his birthday, he came to Odisha. He was in Bhubaneswar. He launched the Subhadra scheme. So yeah, I think
the focus is
we are all the great things have happened in the past few decades, and even greater things are in store for the state.
Oh. So from the state of Odisha back to the campus of Shishu University. Ma'am, with the multidisciplinary requirement of education that is coming up, and considering the fact that we at Shishu University have got so many different types of faculty, how do you plan to, or how do you envision to integrate the offerings of different areas and maybe provide a more holistic, more valuable, need-based education to the masses of the state, to the nation, and even beyond?
Yeah, I think this is the well said. This is the need of the hour for us, and I think in India we are very, very fortunate to get a very, very forward-looking and one can say disruptive policy like the National Education Policy. I sit on many councils, and we interact with many international higher education leaders. Just yesterday I was on an India-Australia roundtable where about 12 or 14 chancellors, vice chancellors of Australian universities, and some of us were talking about closer India-Australia partnership. So we do many of this, and let me say one thing, and I have always shared this very openly, that there is no other country in the world which is experiencing so much positivity or
vibrance.
looking forward to innovation in education. And I think that is what NEP has brought to India, and that it happened in the COVID year. I think probably was in a way some sort of a coincidence that it gave us something positive to hold on to. So I think the NEP is already disrupting the way we look at education hitherto, traditionally. And I'm very proud that in Shishu University we are already 100% NEP compliant, which means students have the flexibility of entry and exit, which means students can take benefit of the academic bank of credit, all of those elements with it. And it will show us in the next coming 5, 6, 10 years the full benefit of some of these aspects of the NEP. And one of those is multidisciplinary education. Today, if you look at, some of us studied at a time when, we did our 10th standard or 12th standard, and then we did BA, BCom, BSc, or, did medicine or engineering, architecture. There were about maybe 10, 15 options. But today, the world is demanding from, the industry is demanding from graduates a more multidisciplinary thinking. It is a world which is a multi-world, correct? So our thinking needs to be like that. Our perspective needs to be more diverse. I don't think it's a world today where a student can study one subject and one subject alone and be able to leverage that for the rest of his life. I think gone is the time when you graduated at 20 and what you learned at that time served you till 80. It is not going to work like that, right? So I think it is the need of the hour. And there is a lot of innovation happening in education in India. Like recently, I was in a conference, Bharat, and the director of IIT Jodhpur was on the panel, and he shared, which I was really amazed to hear, that IIT Jodhpur and AIIMS Jodhpur have done an MOU, so that the third or fourth year students of both AIIMS and IIT will do a joint project. Imagine you are making a medical and engineering student come together to work on a common problem or challenge, and work on a project mode. So I think that is the need of the hour. Left and right brain needs to be cohesive. Science and art needs to be cohesive. Language, history, STEM, all of that. So I think you need we are in a time where you need, of course, one key expertise, but very well rounded by few others. And I think that is what is our effort here in your own faculty. In management studies, you are doing it. We are doing it in our engineering and technology, agriculture. And I think in Shishu University, we are very well poised to do, because we have multidisciplinary faculties. So we have engineering and technology on one side, and on the other we have dance and music. We have architecture on one side, and we have animation and psychology and languages. So I think our students are very lucky to be even studying in an environment where on the next dinner table, you may be a STEM student, but on the next table is a Kathak student. And that itself is such a diversity of learning and immersion. So I think it is extremely important today. I'm also advocating, Bharat, that if you look at medical science now, it is saying that his medical science will progress so much that our average lifespan will go to 100 plus. I mean, COVID and other such pandemics aside. So if you were to live that long, then you are going to work till you're 80, 85. And then you will need 5 to 6 careers in your life, right? So the ability to learn and relearn, the ability to teach yourself. Like, I mean, if I look at my own example, I'm on the second career of my life, and both are very different. So I think that is an important skill also. And that skill, I personally feel, comes from something much deeper than just a classroom lesson, which is what we do here. Our students learn meditation, yoga, do pranayama, sudarshan kriya. We encourage our students to do seva, right? Learn, lead, serve are our core values. And doing seva is so critical. See, we are a 10-minute generation. Today, if my Instamart order doesn't come in 10 minutes, I get it's something is not okay in life, right? If pizza doesn't come in 29 minutes, then something is not okay. Which in a customer productivity and customer responsiveness sense is great, but it is, I think, really not okay for how we are pegging our expectations. And I feel that this generation is, because of social media, because of all of this kind of environment, is becoming more and more discontented. And I have seen, therefore, that when our kids go to do seva, and they come back, they have a different confidence about themselves. I'll tell you a story. In our initial years here, so we have such a big campus. So the whole campus was not yet lighted. We were doing it in phases, right? So one day I was doing a town hall, and some of the girls said that, ma'am, from this portion to that portion, there is no light and street light. And we want street lights there. And so we were making a note, that... See, that's the beauty of building an institution together, right? As you live and experience, then you know what else, and everybody is part of it. So anyway, we were taking all that down, and that evening, we had a project also with our sister trust, SSRDP, where we were distributing solar lights. So these were little panels, like a little 2 feet by 2 feet panel, which stayed on the rooftop of the hut, and you get 1 or 2 bulbs light in the night. So there is a village here close by, 2 kilometers away, Balunka village. And we were going that evening to do the light distribution. Bharat, we reached there. It was in November, I really remember, and it gets dark early. So by the time we reached there, 5:40 or so, it was pitch dark. It's 2.5 kilometers from our campus. That village has never had light in its life.
Oh.
So we had to park few of our cars with the headlights on. That was the light for our little event there. We went from hut to hut and, gave them, and those villagers came out. Somebody had a little plastic, some sugar in a plastic. We want to give you something sweet because light has come to our life, to our homes. And we finished that in about an hour, and we came back, and I was having dinner with these same girls. And these same girls said to me, ma'am, it's, we were complaining to you about this light, but we didn't realize that just next to us, people have never had light in their life. So, what is happening in our urban life is that we are only looking at people who have more than us, right? Through Instagram, stories, reels. And we say, oh, look at that person bought this car, this dress. But when you look at people who have less than you, it brings a sense of contentment, humility, confidence. And that I think is very important for this generation. So I'm very happy that in our university, we are helping students get this multi-stakeholder perspective. It makes them more sensitive. And that is all needed today at workplaces. Needed at, even if you build your own enterprise, you become an entrepreneur. You need to know the reality of life. So I think in our campus, students are lucky to not only academically get the variety to choose and excel, but to get the tools and techniques to build inner resilience, like meditation, yoga, and to get platforms where they can do seva, experience. See, if you've grown up in, say, a Bombay, even if you want to know how a rural life is, how will you know it? You stay in the city, you've grown up there. But here you get that opportunity. And what a mind-blowing expansion of the mind it is, when the students tell the stories. It's really wonderful to hear. So I think that's the beauty of the ecosystem we are building here.
All of this put together gives a student a multidisciplinary, a holistic perspective of looking at the society and maybe better training himself or herself to face the real world. Okay then, moving to the next question, ma'am. It's been at the helm of the affairs, at the top of the university. You have been the president for last 6 to 7 years. And I'm sure the entire journey has been beautiful so far. But if I may ask you, what have been the top 3 or top 4 or some of the highlights of Shishu University and its achievement during the course of you being the president of this institute?
Yeah, I mean, one of the highlights of the last few years for all of us has been the unfortunate COVID, right? I mean, when COVID hit us, I still remember I was in Bombay, and it was the Friday before the lockdown week, and I was in a car driving somewhere, and I called up the then Vice Chancellor, and I said that, sir, I'm getting some intuition that what if we have to shut the campus? How can we prepare for it? So he says, no ma'am, something like this can never happen. I said, nevertheless, I really am feeling that today. See, that's the beauty of meditation, Bharat. You cannot explain it, but from within something, sometimes, many times, a spark comes. So our Vice Chancellor was kind enough. I said, I just have a feeling, because COVID had started by then. Kerala, all those cases had started happening, and I said, just in case, why don't we do a meeting to just be prepared? In case, if it's not needed, no problem. It's an hour that we spend. So he was kind enough. He said, yes, we'll do it. And when I made the call, was about 11, and they decided to meet after lunch. So I think 2 o'clock they met. And they were just finishing the meeting when the state of Odisha announced a lockdown at 3:30. And it was about a week before Prime Minister announced lockdown. So that itself was a very defining experience, to learn, to run a educational institutional setup in times of such uncertainty. I mean, nobody knew whether we will open, we will shut, whether if we open, how long. We opened and then the second wave happened. Then it finished and we opened again, the third wave happened. And to manage students' lives, health, it was a very, very tough time. So it was one of the defining things, and it taught us a lot. I think it taught us the importance of partnership. It taught us the importance of standing with each other. It taught us the importance of empathy. I think there was not a single meeting at that time we started without checking how are you and what is happening. Just so I think that was a important experience. Other than that, I think we've had so many milestones. We got our first NAC accreditation. That is, in academic institutional sense, a huge milestone for any university. So very proud of that. We got our first NABH accreditation, which, we are the only hospital in Odisha to have that, which is again a huge matter of pride. Again, we launched our incubator. So it was 2019 December that we formally, created SSU Innovation Foundation, and then COVID hit. But despite that, in such a short time, what a fantastic incubator we have built. It is something to reckon with in the country. We are well known for it, appreciated for it. So that the fact that we launched so many programs despite all of this, we have such a vibrant centers of excellence, so many other so many milestones, and the whole team has worked together for it. And we have had so many prestigious partnerships, MOUs, and now students from so many different backgrounds and states. So I think it's all in all many achievements to be proud of for the whole team. And I feel very fortunate to have been a part of this. I always say this, that in Art of Living, for Gurudev to do any project, 180 countries and 1 billion plus people are available to choose from. The fact that he chose this country, this state, for our Art of Living's first university, and all of us who are part of this in some way, I think, have been chosen, and that's a matter of great fortune. And for me, at a personal level, has been a time of immense growth, because interacting with people who are from different fields, they are coming from different backgrounds, and then we all come together as one sort of melting pot of thoughts, ideas, personalities, backgrounds, and then to align everyone to one grand vision that Gurudev has. And it's been a great learning experience for sure for me. I think I have personally grown a huge by leaps and bounds along with the university.
Ma'am, we already have so many institutes, universities, private, governments spread across the country, and not just in the country but also in the state and coming up in the city itself. Considering that there are so many options to choose from for any given student who wants to join a higher education institute, why a particular student should choose Shishu University? So why SSU?
I think every student asks this question before choosing any institution, and every institution in our country has something to offer children, and people take decisions based on so many different parameters. But I think from Shishu University's point of view, for the programs that we offer, the excellence that we promise and deliver, the environment that we offer, to have a campus which is drug, alcohol, smoke-free, respect for life, vegetarian campus, crime-free campus. It's a big deal today, Bharat. I meet so many parents who tell me that we send our children to a university campus, especially which are residential campuses, and we are so scared what of them is going to come back. They may come back with a degree, but what if they come back with an addiction? What if they, so those are really tough challenges today. Real challenges which we are all facing in education. So I'm very happy, and I say this to parents very confidently, that you send your children to our campus, of course they will learn their subject, what they have enrolled for, they will excel in it. That is the given. But what I feel we can guarantee is the fact that they will not only be saved from all these perils, so to say, but on the contrary, go out with a very, very solid, strong character, very solid personality, resilient, emotionally strong, stable, confident, and with the confidence of the fact that I can live life, face life,
face the challenge,
and experience the joy of life. So that, I think, is fundamental. In a way, 3 years, but suppose a student comes to do, say, a BCom program, it's 3 years. If a student comes to do an MBA program, it's 2 years. It's a short time. It's a short time in one way, but for something to go wrong, it's a long time, right? So that, I think, is one of our biggest assurances that we come. And of course, being Gurudev's University brings with it its brand, the international leverage that we have, the national leverage that we have, the respect that we have. Ultimately, you want to, I say this to parents, you want to send your child to an institution that you can proudly say, my son or daughter went to this institution also, right? Apart from the fact that it's, whatever, rated, ranked, all of that, that is fine. So that, I think, is, and I think today, because of the NEP, we have really taken it in letter and spirit. How many partnerships we have, especially on the STEM side, such unique programs, such unique offerings, fantastic faculty. And what a great campus, Bharat. I never studied in a, we studied in Bombay.
I know.
We barely went to school and, kind of rumbled out of it and again on the road, right? But here, to have this kind of a campus, we've had so many students here who came with some physical health challenges. I cannot take names, but we had a student girl who enrolled here for BBA and then she did MBA. So she was here for 5 years. When she came to us, she had some other gender-related, some gynecological challenges, because of which she used to put inordinate amount of weight. And it was not because she ate or, nothing like that, but that was her situation. And I remember during her admission, her mother, she was from Bengal. So her mother and her nani, her grandmother had come to leave her here. And I happened to be there that day at the thing. And she said, ma'am, we are leaving her here. Please, I know she will learn, but please make her health okay. And, living here, walking every day, such a beautiful environment, clean air, pure air, meditation every day. She is today rid of all of those challenges. She lost like 35 kilos in 3 years. And just eating the right food like that. Some students have come to us with even some psychological challenges. And parents have requested us, please don't, send them away. We don't want them to get into pills and everything. And we've taken care, just the meditation, etc. That has helped. These days, Bharat, the unfortunate thing is at 10 and 11, students have access to drugs in school premises, neighborhoods. So sometimes when kids come to us at 17 and 18, they have maybe 6-7 years already. So we have also, as you know, done de-addiction. So all this is, I think, preparing for life. And that level of passion with which in our campus everybody works for this. I don't think it's like that in many
education
other places.
Beyond the job.
Yeah.
I think it's a very well described vision for education in the future, and also what the uniqueness that Shishu University offers to the students in a broader level. Ma'am, now if we can just narrow down from the university to a particular student or student in general, considering that in today's world they are facing competition, they are facing pressure from so many different areas, whether it is within the family, whether it is from peer pressure or the market pressure. Any particular message that you have in your mind which you want to share with the student or give to the student with respect to handling goals, handling ambitions, handling their life in general?
You know, one time this question was asked to Gurudev, that is ambition good or bad? And his answer has stayed with me like a sutra of life. He says ambition should be like the shirt you wear, you know, not like your skin. So when you come home from work, you change your shirt, right? You shower and maybe you wear your home clothes. So you're able to put it down, put it away. If it's your skin, then you get stuck with it. So I think ambition is important because that is what propels you ahead. Positive ambition. Doing good because you are capable of doing good and because you should contribute to the world in general, humanity. And as a process of that, you grow as well, right? That's the classic theory for a startup success, that you have an idea which really adds value to the life of individuals by either giving them convenience or saving time or saving money. That startup will be successful. In the process, you will also succeed. So I think ambition is good. But again, what Gurudev says, passion, dispassion and compassion. I think that is very important. Have the passion for your life, but have that tiny bit of dispassion to be able to be resilient and bounce back if things don't if things don't go your way. Because otherwise you might have 6 failures in your life, and then that pulls you down. That's not going to help you. And the compassion to be kind to yourself and to others. I see so many students today, Bharat, who are so tough on themselves because unfortunately they are completely captured by the norms of social media. You see some actress who is of a certain size or a certain color or wearing a certain type of outfit, and you look at yourself and you say, I'm not like that, I'm not good enough. And this is destroying the generation. So I think that we need to protect our minds from. And I always say this to students, I don't know how popular it might sound, but I am always in the team of working hard. I don't think anything in life comes as a shortcut. I always tell students, if anyone tells you this is a shortcut and you will get this easy, I say run a kilometer away from them, because life is not like that. We work hard and we get the benefit of it. If we don't, at least we learned a lot along the way. And Bharat, see, look around us. Younger and younger people are doing bigger and bigger things. Look at so many of the big unicorns. These guys are mid-20s. So I feel that every student, whether he is in Bhubaneswar or she is in Bhubaneswar or Bombay or Balasore or anywhere else, should know that today the world has become a tiny village, right? So my competition is not just the person sitting in my classroom. My competition, if I am in Bombay or Bhubaneswar, the person in Boston is also my competition. Because the world has become such a tiny, interconnected and borderless place. So keep that bigger context in mind.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure this will definitely help the students to face the challenges in their life. Now coming to an interesting question, and because every description or every answer of yours has a mention either directly or indirectly to the presence of Pujya Gurudev in your life, and we all know what kind of respect, what kind of reverence you hold for him in your life. And the very popular book Unknown Age has clearly described it in many parts of the book. No, ma'am, I'm yet to read that book, but yeah, definitely I've heard many anecdotes from the sections of the book being discussed in the different corridors or in different parts of the campus. So the next question is with respect to Gurudev. How will you describe Gurudev's presence in your life, both as boss and also as a mentor, or maybe more than a mentor, as a guru? So now that you are professionally also involved in an institution envisioned by him, and you have been he has been a part of your personal life since a very long time, how do you see, or how do you can share a bit about his presence in your life?
So I think, when I think about it, it's amazing you asked me this, because it's not easy to structure that thought. But the feeling I get, very very genuinely I'm saying this, is that whenever I see Gurudev in meetings, so one of my favorite things to do, of course, is we all have so many things to discuss with him, our own, so many hundreds of questions. But my favorite thing to do is to, when Gurudev is doing meetings in a large room, to sit at the back and just observe. I feel no MBA class, no PhD can teach you that. Because when you observe how he behaves with every person in every moment, itself is a window to understand, little window to understand the magnitude of his being. When you notice it, if you see it so Gurudev, when in Bangalore ashram or anywhere, when he's there with large crowds, he does darshan line. Right? So 10,000 people. And he patiently interacts, and then he will tell, but you met me in that line, you met me already, you came, he might have met 4,000 people already. But you just asked me there, na? That side you were there. So, how is a human being able to do that? Somebody asked him once that, lightly, that Gurudev, are you God? So he said, you know what, you should ask people who travel with me. When they travel with me 7-8 days, then they have to rest. But I go on and on and on. So in a different way, sometimes he says, when you ask him, are you God, Gurudev? He says, yes, I am, and so are you. So the point is, I feel that as a planet, we are blessed to have the presence of a being like him. Today you look at it geopolitically, very, very physically, geopolitically. Every country, every state head, every head of state is thinking about his or her country alone, right? Some may think of a continent. You are in G7, G20, you think of that cohort.
Right.
Who is thinking of the whole world? Who is bothered about the whole planet in its entirety? I mean, you can take it to the universe and so many things. But so I feel very grateful for our planet that we have someone like Gurudev who is really concerned about the whole world in its completeness. It's not like about only for environment or only for education. No, everything is a problem. I mean, any problem in the world is his problem. Somebody asked him, not I, somebody asked him once that, Gurudev, why do you do all that you do? Actually, it was the World Bank head who asked him. So he, in a meeting, he said, Gurudev, why do you do all that you do? He says, because I can't be any other way. I don't have a choice. So to have the opportunity to experience a being like this is our good fortune. See, who do we meet otherwise, Bharat? We are brought up in our homes. We meet parents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, cousins, some neighbors. Then we meet teachers, classmates, some idhar-udhar ke log. This is our life, right? Then we meet some co-workers, boss. Like that, that's our life. 70, 80, 100, 200, 400 log hum milte hain. This is a person who knows 1 billion people and is, or more, and is continuously thinking what I can do to make life better for everybody.
Not a task given to him, rather the responsibility he feels he has.
You are a management faculty. You teach authority. You teach leadership, right? You teach leading by influence. I'm telling you, people talk about formal authority and informal authority. यहाँ कोई formal authority नहीं है. कोई किसी ने बोला नहीं है. But this is all taken on. That's why Gurudev says, no, responsibility is taken, not given. And he is embodying that. So I gave a slightly long answer to you, but to me, his presence is healing. It's healing for the soul. It's light.
Comforting.
It's light. It's healing. It's comforting. It is. I cannot. It is just to be in that is to. To feel the good fortune to be in that. That's it. And in a professional sense, I mean, there is not a minute that I don't get surprised by his completely disruptive and completely lateral thinking process. Recently, we were in a meeting, and it came out of me, and I genuinely mean it and feel it. I have not seen a person with this level of courage that Gurudev has. He has no fear about anything. He says, you do. You go ahead. I mean, you know, koi dar nahi, no fear, no inhibition, no boundary, no prejudice, no bias, open, adaptable, agile, amazing.
Perfectly to have.
Yeah.
So it again comes the full circle of our discussion from the day when you arrived here and till the point that you started leading the university or till today. Nice.
So no, see, like this university we are talking about. When we started, I mean, you know, building a university is a multi-generational, multi-decade and a multi-million-dollar project, right? We are a charitable institution. It's a very ambitious, aggressive idea to have. We had it. And we are building it, and we've built it, and we are growing more. Now our iconic tower is going to be a marvel for our country. There is no academic campus for sure in the whole world, definitely not in India, with a building of this character or this
vision.
So, you know, that is the beauty. I sometimes feel, I mean, how amazing it is, right? To be having the advantage of this vision to guide us. So, it's
wonderful.
Yeah, challenges are many. But I don't look at them as my challenges. I look at them as people having challenges.
Well
See,
said.
that is the, for me, the beauty of spiritual anchoring, that it makes you strong from within. So if you have a problem because I am a woman leader, then it's your problem, not my problem.
Yes.
If you think I don't know enough about this and about this field, then it's your problem, not my problem. So I am very grateful that I have stayed protected from this feeling of persecution. Otherwise, it cannot make you move, Bharat. You cannot get out of your room otherwise. You know, if you keep thinking of what will this person think of me, what is this person thinking of me, you cannot move. Gurudev said once that I am telling all women, don't ask for empowerment, know that you are empowered. So I take it another level. I say we are what we are, and as long as, for me, what is important is there has to be purity of intent. In my heart, if I am pure, then for me that is it. If I am integral, if I am ethical, and if I am giving my 100%, my dharma I am doing, then it's fine. Now with you have problem, then you are coming with your own baggage. So you deal with it, right? So I have looked at it like that. In fact, in all the women leadership interventions I do, this is what I tell young women also, young, old, all women, that you don't worry about whether you have it in you or don't. You do what you have to do. Everything else will happen. So our environment is yet not an equal environment, for sure. I have had hundreds of experiences here where even some ministers, others have come and said, made very personal remarks, raised personal questions. It has happened within colleagues maybe, or, all of that. But I treat it as not my problem. I say I have to move. Till I am in a particular role that I have to do it. If somebody else is, unless, Bharat, we have that conviction. Again, I'll tell you one story. Once Gurudev said to me, I was going to the World Bank to teach for the first time a very new leadership program when we started TLEX. And Gurudev asked me to go to Washington to deliver the first program along with another colleague. And before going, I said, maybe Gurudev has some guidance. So I said, Gurudev, what guidance do you have? So I said, no, you go, it'll be fine. 2-3 times I really was keen to know, because this was to the World Bank Leadership Institute. We were doing our leadership course to these like leadership experts of the world. So I said some guidance will definitely help, right? So after 2-3 times I asked, then one time then Gurudev said, you stand with conviction, then you don't need to convince anybody.
Wow.
And that has again been like a sutra for me, because today, and if I look back, some of the things that personally I have been able to say
Overcome
or even achieve. It's also not any established people who are so-called doyens in the field have not been able to do. So it's a combination of conviction and infinite blessing and grace, of course.
Yeah. I'm already getting so many pointers, sutras and pearls of wisdom for myself in life. One last question, ma'am. And this is with respect to what you have started the conversation with, that you mentioned that this has been already a second career of yours, the transition from being a banker to being an educationist. So where do you see maybe Professor Mrs. Rajita Kulkarni heading in the next jump or the next phase of her career? Any plans which you wish to share with respect to, you have already mentioned few things, that you are passionate about education, you are passionate about students, you are passionate about startups. So where is this course heading in the coming days?
I don't know. Let's see how life unfolds. I just hope, what I wish for myself in life is that I should be working till the last breath. I am the happiest and the most alive when I'm working the hardest. So for me, that is my life energy. So if I have a free day, I really get tired more. So I hope that I can continue to work in. And one conviction I have is that when we are on this path, then life has kind of, in a way, planned for you how it moves ahead for you. What I know that as a university we have a lot to do, we have a lot to grow, and I hope that I can be part of this journey for many more years to come.
Definitely, we need you.
Contribute to it.
Nice, that's a good way of looking at it. Just keep walking and let the path emerge. So, ma'am, now we are moving to a very interesting part, and I have heard that this is one of the most favorite section of many people over here, the rapid fire section. So you have very less time to respond, and with that also in a very few words. So let's start the rapid fire section. Rajita ji, as a student or Rajita ji as the president?
I would say as a human.
That's nice way of saying it. Okay. Why SSU?
Excellence.
Okay. How SSU?
Yeah, just walk in.
Okay. So, 3 things that drive you in life.
Excellence, hard work, commitment.
That's wonderful. Life without SSU?
Impossible. Incomplete.
Your favorite time pass?
These days, it changes from time to time. But so few words I will say here. These days is to listen to some amazing podcasts. I have found some amazing speakers.
Sources.
Yeah.
Any particular favorites?
So these days I have got very enchanted by these podcasts of Vinay Varanasi.
I know. Chidambaram.
He knows so much. He's like a modern Ved Vyasa. So, and it's so much he tells that you have to listen to it a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I have heard recent weeks, I have heard many of his podcasts. I have also begun to love the talks Pandit Rasrajji gives on Hanuman, Ramayana, so those. And some of the mythological, but like the podcasts which have the genealogy or some of those about our Mahabharata, Ramayana. Some of these recently, I have heard quite a few of them. So, correct, same. I heard that. And so I'm downloading that on flights. I'm listening to
Oh.
those. So that is my,
Then, who is tough? Gurudev as a guru or Gurudev as a boss?
neither. Neither.
Sweet.
Neither.
Okay then, next. Sweet or spicy or salty?
Spicy.
Heavy meal or munching?
Punching.
Now, your favorite, of course, we know that Gurudev is your all-time favorite. We'll keep him aside for the time being. Your favorite global leader?
So I'll choose two. From my childhood, I have been very inspired by the oratory of John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
Someone who, so he put a man on moon, and so that is one. And controversial maybe, but when I look at someone like Queen Elizabeth, I feel to rule 75 years on a throne through changing worlds, and oh my God,
Nice.
being
Absolutely.
being put on the throne at 25 or what, 23 she was, and then to have that, and I'm so amazed by her life and time, and the stoicity she brought, the regality, the dignity she brought. Oh,
True.
for me that is, and just by being what she did,
Fantastic.
I feel very inspired by that.
Yeah, never came to my mind, but now that you are saying, yes, agree totally. Next, what irritates you the most?
Just yesterday when people cut lines. But yeah, if I'm irritate maybe yes also sometime, but I can't take it if people lie. Like I feel how you live with yourself like that, or adharma like that is not, I can't deal with it. I have to still be able to learn to deal with it. Yeah.
We know that you follow a lot of sports, so then your favorite sports?
Cricket.
And sports person?
Cricket, when I was a child, so my father and I, this was our time together. So Papa used to take me to see test match. So me and Papa, we used to go 5 days, one khede. 5 days we will sit. Topi, those, those
hats.
Gavaskar type topi. Yeah. We will go sit, and that was us. So cricket always. I used to do commentary also.
Oh.
Building cricket commentary.
Okay.
I used to do that. But that's an important one.
Yeah, that's very important.
Competitive.
Now it has become really the mainstream.
Yeah. Building. I used to be the commentator, and I knew the game technically.
Technically. Oh.
Yeah. So cricket is.
And favorite cricketer?
Favorite cricketer. Actually, I'll stick with my old choice of Kapil Dev ji.
Oh,
I would really, since I was a child, like our World Cup and those days.
Memories.
Yeah. And at that time, of course, I know him otherwise, but Ravi Shastri was, we were younger when, when he got the Audi from Australia.
Benson and Hedges.
Yeah. So that time we were excited about that. I recently met, not recently, 3-4 years ago, at the Bombay Airport Lounge. Ravi Shastri ji was there, and so I told him that I went to meet him, and I said my father, because my father was a big cricket enthusiast. Even today we have like few suitcases. So every cricket match, not just India and anybody, like any country with anybody, he will write the score.
Oh.
He had this thing to record. So, and everybody's, records, everything.
Yeah.
So I went to meet Ravi Shastri ji, and I said, my father will be very happy if I can take a picture with you. He says, I don't mind. So he told somebody was with him. I gave my phone to that person. I said, can you take the picture? So he says, yeah. So then Ravi Shastri, he's also a very big cricketer. So I said, oh really? His younger one, I didn't know it was Hardik Pandya.
Oh.
So I said, oh, I'm so sorry. He had just begun. So I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know you.
Okay.
He says, don't mind, I get it when I'm with Ravi sir, I always get it. So,
Wow.
I mean, that's just on a lighter note, but yeah. And you know what, if you ask favorite, like that's what I think we have to learn from the sports people, is their amazing commitment to training, to excellence, to discipline. Like you look at Virat, he was overweight at a time, he was not doing well, and then he just took charge of life and look at what he made out of it. You know, that's why it is said, no, that you collect your medals in your practice. In competitions, you actually earn your medals in your practice. In competitions, you just go and collect them. So that really, you know, inspires me. Actually, in our World Forum for Ethics in Business, we have hosted multiple world summits on ethics in sports. 2 of them have been very big, with FIFA, at FIFA in Zurich. And we've had sports people from 40-50 sports coming and sharing Olympic medal winners, gold medal winners, Olympic winners, all kinds of people. And you listen to their stories, Bharat, it humbles you. You know, 20 years dedicated to one sport for one Olympic. And you know, it's a make or break moment in that nick of a second, and your life is hanging on it. And to live a life of that level of commitment is that's something for our, you know, everyone to learn from. Yeah.
Okay, from sports to spirituality, Rama, Krishna or Shiva?
Why you're not having Ganesha, Hanuman, Devi?
Okay, you tell me. Rama, Krishna, Ganesha, Hanuman, Devi.
No, just now our Ganpati festival is over. No, everybody. Everybody, it is all one energy,
they have their own
one
tattvas.
divinity.
Okay. So one advice for the current passing out batch.
I think, you know, this is true for current, even the next few batches. They are passing out at a time of at an incredible time in our world. You know, with the advancement of AI, with what's happening with how COVID disrupted the way we work. It's a whole new, you know, world in a sense. It's a borderless, interconnected, interdependent world. The world is truly the oyster for our students. So I would say don't have any self-created boundaries in your mind of what is possible or what is not, or self-limiting beliefs of what you can do or not. Just go out there, embrace life, work hard. That is paramount. Don't cut corners. Don't try to be cute. You know, they try to be cute. They think they are smarter than, you know, everyone. It doesn't work like that. Be smart, be committed, be hardworking. Take a good moment in life. I mean, work-life balance, everybody talks. I talk about work-life integration. You know, balance is overrated. You integrate it, it finds its own balance. It finds its own equilibrium.
How do you want to be remembered by others? One word.
Inspiring.
And again, in one word, life at SSU is dash.
Magical.
Oh, wow, magic. So yeah, that's it. That's all I had to ask you, ma'am. And I think it was a great time talking to you, listening to you, and you know, personally also for myself, it was wonderful to hear your inputs about SSU, about the worldview and everything. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I maybe I don't know where I went wrong in asking the question.
No, it was great. Thank you. What a wonderful conversation.
Yeah, it was a good conversation. Thank you.